Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your weekly reading, and this reading will span roughly the period between the 15th to the 21st of March and will be for the sign of a Sagittarius. I'm using the Modern Spellcasters Tarot here for your reading. Please remember though, the readings are only general, they do flip-flop. If they don't resonate, then it may be your moon sign, Venus, or your rising that will resonate for you this week. So check out them. If you're unsure how to do that, you can do, there's a good natal chart on Cafe Astrology. So you can find out exactly how you were born to rock and roll. So by looking back at your chart, you would get a greater understanding of where the planets were when you were born. Venus is good if you're looking at love. Okay, 10 of Pentacles coming out here. Now the 10 of Pentacles is a card of abundance. This is about finishing a cycle, but finishing in a place where you feel really like you've closed off what you need to, but you're really in an element of fulfillment here. So sometimes it can be working towards something. You could be moving towards a new relationship, finishing out being single, but have accomplished everything you wanted to. Oh, and look at this union. So definitely here I have you closing out some sort of single cycle in order to move into a relationship here. Something has been offered to you here. With the moon, we're not always sure what we're getting, but the Fool is the universe asking us to take a leap of faith here. You're being offered a journey here that may be quite karmic, but it's your path. And you've got to jump in regardless of what you are fearful about. Now, if you are fearful about someone and they are not meant for you, or you have a feeling it's not right for you, that's not the leap of faith that the universe is asking for here. This leap of faith is about starting a new cycle with someone who appears to be someone who's been guided towards you here. But, you know, very often with relationships, when we embark on a new relationship, we're not always sure where the relationship is going to take us, you know, and I think this is why the leap of faith, it's like trust your heart here and move in the direction that you are being called to move to. Okay, so first off we have the Five of Wands coming out here. Now this makes absolute sense now I've read that, because I think that, you know, sometimes when we're embarking on something new or starting a new relationship, we're not really sure what it's going to bring. And that can create a little bit of conflict for us. So you may be trying to make a decision here on whether you move from being single into a relationship and whether it's really the right relationship for you, which is sort of the energy I got in the beginning there. The Three of Pentacles means that you want to invest, or someone wants to invest in you. But at this stage, this is not sort of, because it's not a relationship, it's how much you want to put into this and how much the other person is giving back. So there could be some, you know, toing and froing about what you both want from a relationship too, and what that means. Some people have a really different idea of what a relationship is. Some people are very inconsistent with how they have a relationship. So there may be some inconsistency here that you're unsure about moving forward on. But I always say to people, speak about it, you know, have healthy boundaries. Say to the other person, this is what I expect from you. The one thing that's coming up here, which is probably something I need to mention, and that's why Spirit's sort of doing it. You know, sometimes you go into a relationship and the other person doesn't text you or communicate with you all the time, because their level is, you know, they don't feel that they need to do that, so they don't do it. And you might be a person who texts all the time. And when the other person texts you back, doesn't text you back, you might get into a bit of a dither here, wondering why they are not communicating the same way as you are. They're the sort of things you need to iron out in a relationship, because it may be that this person isn't doing this to, you know, evoke a feeling of, you know, not being cared about or not being loved. They just may not be much of a texter. And that can create this sort of energy here where you're feeling like someone's not invested in the relationship when they most likely are. And this is exactly what I'm saying. Could be dealing with a Libra, Gemini or Aquarius here. But this is definitely about opening up the communication here. If you're dealing with someone who's quite sort of masculine in their energy, they may not be a person who is open emotionally, and it may need for you to open that up with them and allow them to feel trusted by you to do that, or with you to do that. Not everybody sort of comes in, oh, here we go. So you may be dealing with an Aries here. And funnily enough, Aries was dealing with a fire sign as well. I feel like there's a lot of passion here, and maybe you're sort of looking to what you expect from a relationship rather than what the other person's putting in. And I've been looking at this a lot lately with the 5 languages of love, because I realise not everybody is the same as you. You know, this whole idea of what you're doing towards a relationship, the other person may be loving you as well, but they may be doing it in a different way. And if your ways are different, it doesn't mean they don't love you. It's just they have a different way of showing it. Now, I'm not talking about them being emotionally cold, because I don't feel that this is emotional coldness. I think it's lack of trust and lack of investment. So maybe it's something you need to have a communication about before you start. Okay, so we have the 3 of Swords coming in here, which talks about some sort of hurt and heartbreak. So you may be dealing with a person here who's had a very unstable past, and they may be very anxious about committing. Now, this could be you too, because of that leap of faith. You may have had experiences in the past where you felt like you felt uncomfortable about investing in someone new because you're scared of getting burned again. So you may have had your heart broken in the past, and when this person doesn't text you or get in touch with you, your mind immediately goes to this hurt. So you're worried if they're seeing someone else, if they have another person they're interested in. So that's where your mind goes. Now, some of this sort of stuff generally comes up in a relationship when you first start out anyway, and that's what it has, that feeling of something new here, where you're both sort of discovering, you know, what you want from the other person and what you're prepared to invest. I do think this person is worth investing in, but it's also worth having those conversations with them if you're feeling a little insecure, because there's insecurity and anxiety here. And it may be worth raising that with them to make sure they are on the same page as you. So we do have the Hermit coming through here. And we do have the 4 of Swords. So there may be a need for you to step back here before you make a decision on whether you want to move forward with this person. Now, it's not because the person isn't right, because I believe this person is a good person. There's nothing here that makes me think that they've done anything wrong, but I feel like there's this feeling that you keep revisiting the past or dredging up old baggage that really is not. Now, this could be the other person too. That is not sort of making them feel comfortable. So I feel like there's a lot of insecurity here. Now, with the World card here, you could be dealing with someone who is very different to yourself, someone who perhaps comes from a different background or different upbringing. So this is about communicating your concerns here. You could also be dealing with someone that you have a relationship with primarily over the internet. And when things aren't happening, you're immediately starting to second guess how this person is feeling. So they could live at a distance to you, but it also can be that you're feeling this emotional distance here. But I do think the offer is genuine, and I do think that they are destined to be with you here. But because there's this feeling of not knowing, you're sort of wondering whether to pull away. But this here, this leap of faith and this Justice card tells me that you are in a situation or relationship that is good, but it's your own fears that are making you pull away here. So make sure that you're having the conversations this week with a person who, if they're not showing you exactly what you need to see, because it's okay to say to someone, you don't answer my text straight away, and giving them an opportunity to say, well, you know, I can't use my phone at work, so I can only answer you in my breaks. And I think that's really important for you to understand that. We do have the card of the hummingbird coming out here, which is card 26. So let me read that to you. So despite being so little, the hummingbirds are great journeyers, migrating between North and Central or South America to feed from the summer nectar. This gentle creature can be fiercely territorial to protect its home. Hummingbird teaches us to be gentle to ourselves and protect our personal space. Hummingbird invites you to embark on your epic quest. Bypass the dung pile of old pain and hurts. Head for the flowers. Learn to trust the calling you hear ever so slowly. Isn't that interesting? The buzzing you feel is the sound of your hummingbird wings preparing you to say yes to a new adventure. That's why you've got the leap of faith. This is not the time to linger on what has got wrong, but to trust in the rightness of the moment and take bold action. Trust that success is assured, even if you must face tests and challenges to reach your destination. Know that all will be well because the all is in the small. So there you go. So it's about trusting and asking and putting everything on the table. If you're worried about a situation here where everything's not clear, don't go to your past to pick up what you've learned in the past. Learn to trust what's coming in for you. Have a great day.